Hello spooky friends, it's Alexis and welcome to my first HALLOWEEKEND Readathon vlog. If you don't know what the HALLOWEEKEND Readathon is, don't worry, there is still time to join. I will have Lexi's announcement video linked below, so go check it out for all of the official rules. But this is a game board style readathon created and hosted by Books with Lexi. And the game board is inspired by her own TBR game that she plays every single month, but with a little bit of a Halloween twist on it. So each long weekend throughout the month of October, from Thursday evening until Sunday evening, we will be reading books in an attempt to hunt the ghost that is in the room with us and try to escape. Now, technically the readathon has not started yet. It is currently Thursday morning, but I was too excited. I had to know what I was going to be reading this weekend, so I wanted to come in and do my first few rolls with you guys. For weekend number one, I have decided that I'm going to tackle the Red Room, which the theme of this room is creepy. Each room does have its own theme, but it's not required that you read horror, but of course, I will be reading horror the entire month of October, so this works perfect for me. I did print out a version of the game board for my reading journal, but it's a little small, so to make it easier so you can see what's going on, I am just going to pulling the board up on my iPad. That way I can use this super cute sticker of Onyx I've made and move him around the board. I have my dice, and I'm thinking, depending on what prompts we get, I either want to roll for 2 or 3. There are both reading prompts and activity prompts on each space, so it could work out. I haven't even mentioned how busy this weekend is going to be, so I probably actually won't have a lot of time to be reading. Roll number 1 is going to be, this is so hard to do left-handed, 7. Okay, we got a 7. There is a lot we can do here. So I know I want to get the ghost. Let's see if we can do it. So if we're starting in the doorway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, so we got the ghost. Now let's see what our ghost square is. The ghost in the library, the reading prompt is to read a book that you can spell skull, S-K-U-L-L, on the cover, or the non-reading prompt, get a spooky book. All right, as good of a reading prompt that is, because I love the idea of trying to spell scary words out of book titles, I have a jam-packed weekend and I'm actually going on a bookstore crawl on Saturday, so I was already planning to buy a book. Might as well use it as a readathon prompt. All right, let's see what we're gonna get for prompt number 2. We got an 8. Okay, an 8. I think I want to go for the flashlight, the ghost hunting equipment in this room. And we do that though. Okay, we can do it. I just have to walk all around the room to get there. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And get our flashlight. Okay, I am back with 2 options. On Old Country by Matt Query and Harrison Query, we have a light source coming from the window. And then on Burn the Negative, we have a lighter. So fire being our light source. These are both books that I really want to get to this month, but this one has been on the TBR longer, and I started it last October and just didn't have time to finish it. I soft DNF'd it. It's not that I wasn't enjoying it. There were just so many other things that I had to prioritize. This one fell to the side, so I will be restarting it. I don't remember how far I got in because I was listening to the audiobook, but I don't think it was very far, maybe 25% if that. But this one follows a couple. What are their names? Harry and his wife Sasha, and they have just moved into this brand new house on all this land. They have these beautiful woods behind them until the neighbors come over one night and let them in on the secret of the land. The neighbors warn Harry and Sasha of a malevolent spirit that lives in the valley, one that with every season will haunt them in fresh, ever more diabolical ways. At first it seems like old wives' tales, but when spring arrives, so does the first evil manifestation, challenging everything Harry and Sasha thought they knew about the world. As each season passes, the spirit grows stronger, the land more sinister, and each encounter more dangerous. When I mentioned this one in my TBR last October, I had so many comments telling me this is their favorite horror book, this book is so creepy. I knew I had to get around to it this spooky season. And I really do think it fits the theme of this room perfectly. What is creepier than the woods at night and the spirits that could potentially be living in them? Okay, I'm thinking the smart thing now is going to be to move towards the door and try to escape. So let's see what our next roll is going to be. And we got a 6. We are exactly 7 spaces away from all of the doors. Okay. Well, that means we're gonna get another prompt. So let's see, what would be the best prompt to do? Okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna go for prompt number 14, if we can get there, because I like the reading prompt and the activity prompt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect, we made it to 14. And the space for that prompt is to read a book written by a BIPOC author or eat or drink a fall-themed treat. The treat is a no-brainer. I'm already planning on getting one during the bookstore crawl, but for my book, that means I can fit in Strange Pictures by Yuketsu. Yuketsu is a Japanese author, and this is a translated work that I've been really looking forward to since I heard about it. It sounds so creepy, so fun. It is a story structured around 9 childlike drawings that do show up throughout the story, and each one uncovers this really dark, sinister clue, and the reader is just trying to solve this mystery by the end of it. All right, so that means we do need to roll one last time to try and reach the door. A 1 would be ideal, so I think I'm just gonna roll with 1 die because I don't feel like walking all around the room again. Put 1 to the side. A 6, that is literally the highest we could have gotten. All right, let's take a little walk around this room. So we're gonna go for space 17, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're just gonna stop at 17, and we'll go into the orange room next weekend. Read a book without the, of, and, or in the title, or do a fall-themed activity. So we already have the activity covered with my bookstore crawl. I'm also going to a Halloween party this weekend. So the activity prompt is covered. If I had to pick a book for this prompt, I want to go with something really, really short. So actually, I do have the perfect one for this. Killing Stalking, written by Kugi. This one is volume 5 of this series. I have been slowly making my way through this series for a few years now. I do believe they're still coming out. I don't think they're finished yet. So my goal by the end of the year would just be to get caught up with what's published so far. But this is a story of just 2 very disturbed individuals. This one follows 2 men, Bum and Sang-woo, who are classmates, and Bum is a stalker. He is literally obsessively in love with Sang-woo to the point where he breaks into his house and hides in his closet. When Sang-woo comes home that night, he doesn't realize Bum is there, and he brings home a date. And Bum is forced to watch from the closet as Sang-woo murders this girl because, surprise, he's a serial killer. Unfortunately, Sang-woo does catch Bum hiding in his closet, and he kidnaps him, emotionally and physically abuses him, and they just get into the most fucked up relationship I have maybe ever read. I've heard other people say that they do not recommend this, even though they enjoy it, and I feel the same way. Like, if it sounds interesting to you, I do think they're very well made. The art is beautiful. I obviously have enjoyed the story enough to continue buying them, but man, are these fucked up. So go into these with caution. All right, we have a jam-packed, or might I say fully booked, weekend. Oh God, that was bad. I feel a little intimidated by this, but I feel good. I mean, we have 4 days to complete all of these. These 2 should be a breeze, super short. And then this one, maybe I can get the audiobook for it. I'm excited. I think we have a really good selection for our first Halloween weekend. That has been a long enough intro. I need to actually go get to work today. And then tonight, I will be jumping on the kickoff sprints for Halloween weekend over on Lexi's channel. So I'll have plenty of time to start my reads then. I also just finished work, and then before hopping on sprints, I did my rolls. I did 3. I don't know if I'm gonna get to all 3, but I can always use the activity prompts if not. I think I'm gonna start with Old Country by Matt Berry and Harrison Berry. I've heard a lot of
Perfect.
It is bedtime. I actually just fell asleep for a few minutes, but I wanted to come in and update you about our progress for night 1 of Halloween weekend. I did not read as much as I might have hoped, but that's okay. It's the first night. I did work all day and then I had editing. So I ended up making it about 50 pages in. I am actually officially in part 2 of this. Part 1 was very, very short. So it's really just what I already told you guys, getting it set up. We are following Harry and Sasha. Harry is a veteran. He was a Marine. And then Sasha does something. She's like a CEO or something. She's working from home with their new change. And then Harry is going to be, setting up the land, working on their ranch. So they have decided to move from the city to this big plot of land in the Rocky Mountains. It's like their dream come true. They've always wanted to do this. They don't want to live around other people. They just want like beautiful landscapes all around them, no people in sight. So they find this plot of land, they go move in. It's like a dream come true until the creepy neighbors show up. So they're not creepy to begin with. They're actually very, very nice people. Their names are Dan and Lucy. They are older. They've been living there forever. They knew the previous owners, all that. And everything is totally fine. Seems like they're going to be friends until Dan and Lucy sit them down separately. So Lucy takes Sasha off. Dan and Harry sit down. And we're getting it from Harry's point of view. So Dan sits him down and he's like, okay, listen, I know that this is going to sound absolutely crazy, but please believe me. He hands him this huge packet of printed out notes and lets him know that there is a spirit that lives in the valley, on the land between all of their houses. And there's certain rituals that you have to perform each season to keep it happy. And of course, right away, Harry is like, you are out of your fucking mind. Get off of my land. A little bit of a dramatic reaction. I think if somebody was warning me that my life might be at danger if I didn't do some things, I'd at least hear them out. That way I knew what I was going to have to do in case it ended up to be real. So Harry and Sasha just laugh it off. They're like, ugh, we have these crazy neighbors to deal with, whatever. They do keep the packets, which is very good because I think we can assume that what the neighbors have told them is real. Yeah, that's where I left off for the night. Nothing has happened yet, just setting it up. And I remember this from last year when I started this, and I do think this is about the point I got to last year, is it annoyed me that we didn't get the details. So it's kind of like a fade to black as soon as Dan starts describing what happens, what this ritual is, what it looks like, all that stuff. So as the reader, we're going in blind. I mean, I get it because it's going to be more suspenseful and scary when stuff does start happening. We're not going to know what to expect. But I just want to get there. I just want to know what creepy stuff this spirit is going to be doing. I guess it can kind of change its appearance depending on the season. There's different rituals associated with the seasons. It just sounds really creepy, really good. Right now, I am obviously about to wash my face, brush my teeth. I've got to let the dogs out, and then I feel so guilty, but I think I'm going to bed, and I am not gonna stay up to listen to TS12, The Life of a Showgirl. This is my first time ever not listening to a Taylor Swift album on release night, but I'm tired, and the music will be there tomorrow morning. So it's midnight now. I think it's actually 12:07. So maybe I'll pop it on real quick and listen to the first few songs before falling asleep. But I just know if I start, I'm not going to want to stop until I listen to the entire thing. I am excited to get up tomorrow morning and listen to that. I will probably listen to it my entire work day, which honestly works out because the 3 books we're reading this weekend, I don't have the audiobook for any of them. So what else am I gonna do while I work? But yeah, after work, we have to lock in. I have to read a big chunk of this tomorrow. I think I'd like to ideally get to the 50% mark. We will worry about that tomorrow. So for now, good night. Good morning. Happy Saturday. We did not talk at all yesterday. It was a very busy, very fun day, and I did not read a single page. As you all probably know from my massive obsession, the new Taylor Swift album, The Life of a Showgirl, came out yesterday. So obviously I had to spend my entire day listening to it. Did that while working. I didn't have an audiobook to listen to anyway, so it was fine. And then After work, we went out to my favorite vegan restaurant, got some vegan chicken wings, and then we went to a Life of a Showgirl album release party at one of my favorite bars, and I just danced for hours and hours and hours. They played all of Taylor Swift songs, not just the Life of a Showgirl, and it was so much fun, and some choices were made because the drinks were so good. They had Taylor Swift themed drinks. I had something called Bad Blood that was served in a blood bag. And then I also had something called a glitter pen. And oh my God, it was so fun. But I did not do any reading at all. So I don't have a book update for you, but I do have a fun fall activity update. So like I mentioned in my intro this morning, I'm going to a fall book crawl. So we are on our way there now. We just had to make a quick stop. I'm gonna do lots of fall activities. I heard that there are going to be seasonal treats, which I know was one of the readathon prompts that I may or may not have landed on. I know I definitely have to buy a spooky book today, so that will be happening. And there are a bunch of authors that are gonna be there, one of them being Edward Ashton, the author of the Mickey 7 series. So I'm hoping to meet him and get him to sign my book. I just think it's going to be a very fun, bookish filled fall day. And then after, I have my mom's Halloween party I'm going to. You'll also get to see a very quickly thrown together witch costume that I came up with because like it's October 4th. I don't have my Halloween costume ready yet. Hello friends, happy Sunday. I actually have a reading update this time. I am back at it. I am currently on live reading sprints for the HALLOWEEKEND Readathon, and we have been sprinting for about 50 minutes now, and I have made it to part 3 of Old Country Summertime, and I am 86 pages in. It has been a very slow start, and I know I'm only 86 pages in, so I like to give a book until the 100-page mark before I decide if I'm gonna DNF or if it's too boring. I'm not at this point considering DNFing. I've just been excited for the action to ramp up, and I feel like it finally did in these last 20-ish pages. I think we're in it now, which is good. It's happening before the 100-page mark. That's all I can ask for in a book. Since we last spoke, we know that in the story, the couple, Sasha and Harry, were confronted by the neighbors. The first thing that the neighbors told them would happen starts happening. And then suddenly we believe the neighbors and we're gonna do what they said. Thankfully, I was sort of expecting Harry to be one of those stupid guys that doesn't look for signs, or in a horror movie where it's you're yelling at them to go that way, get in the car and leave, and then that one guy is like, no, let's go explore, let's go up the stairs, that kind of stuff. That's what I was expecting from Harry, and I'm very happy that he didn't. He was using his brain for once. He followed the rules that the neighbors gave him. The spirit went on its way for now. It does return. It's a cycle. So right now the thing they have to do when they sense the spirit is around is to light a fire in their fireplace. Very easy. They do it. The spirit goes away. But when the spirit is around, they're also having this just overwhelming full body dread feeling experience. They don't know how to describe it, and it is just very, very creepy. The book is doing a good job of just giving me a pit of anxiety in my stomach. I don't know what's gonna happen. They also have a dog who is picking up on all of these feelings as well. You can tell the dog is uncomfortable. It's growling at the trees when they think the spirit is around. So I think it's doing a very good job of just setting this unsettling atmosphere. But other than that, nothing too creepy has happened. We did, at the end of the springtime part, get a little hint into what's going to come during summertime, because I guess the way the spirit manifests is different per season, and there's different things you have to do each season to appease the spirit, keep it away from you. And the summertime one, we finally got more details into what that's gonna look like, and damn, it sounds scary. And I'm excited to read about it, but would not be excited if I was experiencing it in real life. Harry is still just very reluctant. He keeps trying to come up with other things. He's like, there's got to be a scientific explanation. Maybe the neighbors are messing with us. He's setting up cameras to see if he can catch them. He's not seeing anything on the cameras because obviously, I believe it's a real spirit. Maybe maybe the twist is going to be that it was the neighbors all along, but everything is pointing to they're telling the truth, and there is something sinister in these woods that we want to keep the attention away from us. Sasha is bought in. She's like, yep, easy. They gave us the rule book. They've lived here happily for how many years? Let's just do what they've been doing and we're good. And Harry's like, no. So I definitely expect later on he's not going to follow the rules and something bad is going to happen. Like, I couldn't see this entire book just being them following the rules and living peacefully with the spirit. Then it wouldn't be horror. It would be like a cozy fantasy. So I am very excited to keep going. I literally have to finish this today because I have to read at least one book for HALLOWEEKEND. We can't just do all of the activity prompts. So this is the goal for today. I feel good about it. It's still early. It's only 2 p.m. So I've got the whole night. And then, yeah, we'll figure out what we want to do for the other prompts. Maybe we'll finish really early and we can fit in 2 more books. That is it for the book. Little recap of my mom's Halloween party. It was fun. It was just a family party. You know, nothing too crazy. I just hung out with my aunt and my cousins and we talked and we ate lots of food. And then I got home late and I went right to sleep. So 2 late nights in a row. I'm just so ready to relax and read all day. Almost perfect timing. I have 5 minutes left in this sprint and I just finished part 3. So I'm moving on to part 4, autumn. Also, Dan brought me flowers. They're pretty. So autumn was fun. I am so conflicted with this one because the horror scenes are excellent, but there is so much of waiting for the next thing to happen that I get bored. It's moving fast enough that it's not like the worst thing I've ever read. I just wish there was a little bit more happening. It's also just very repetitive. I think I mentioned this in the last part, or maybe I was just thinking it, but the spirit only appears the same way every season, so there's no variance. Every time the spirit appears during the summer, it's the same exact way. It's the same interaction. It's the same response that Harry and Sasha have to do. And yes, the book varies a little bit in their responses. Harry is being a dumbass man, as I suspected he would be. But for the most part, we have the same outcome. So it's just leaving me conflicted. Like, it's fine. I just wish it was a little better. It was doing things a little bit different, but we still have a bit of the book to go. We have autumn and winter, so we'll see what happens. I have no idea what autumn's appearance is going to be like. They did mention what it's called, but we have no details about it. I am hoping, again, it ramps up. Spring was a very mild interaction. Nothing really happened. Summer, it got a lot closer to them. Autumn, who knows? We will have to find out. The other thing I want to mention is there is a dog character in this. So far, the dog has not died or been hurt at all. It always gives me anxiety reading about dogs in tense situations like this. I have a feeling he'll be okay, but I'll of course let you guys know if that changes because I like to be warned when there is animal death. There has been some death in this. There has been not graphic depictions of it, but there was mention of like livestock being skinned and like entrails hanging from trees and stuff. There is a bear that is killed. That is done pretty quickly, pretty humanely. So this book isn't too heavy on the animal cruelty, which I like. I'm thinking I'm going to do one more sprint and then it'll be time for Deb at DG Reads to start hosting her sprints. So at that point, I'll switch to doing some chores or something, like reading for 5 hours straight today, 4 hours straight today. That's a lot, but it's been a lot of fun. And we're back. I promise I'm going to move this chair today, like actually right now. I just wanted to come in and update you all that sprints have officially ended. It is 5:16 p.m. I read a tiny bit more after I ended sprints just so I could get the end of this part because I have now entered part 5, winter. So overall, I read about 220 pages on sprints today. Excellent. That's exactly what I needed to get done. And now it's time for me to do my other chores and clean up this mess of a house. I'm still planning on finishing this tonight. I just want to take a little bit of a break because I was getting really, really sleepy during the last sprint. I was starting to fall asleep. And while taking a nap sounds so good, I also just want to be able to sleep tonight. So I'd rather not and instead get some stuff done around the house and then just go to bed at a normal time tonight and not stay up till 2 a.m. like the past 2 nights. Okay, sounds like a solid plan. So that means I need to stop physically reading and find an audiobook for when I'm doing my chores, because that just makes chores so much more tolerable is when you have a fun audiobook to listen to. Problem is, the books that I put on my TBR for this weekend, I don't have any audiobooks, so we're gonna switch things up a little bit. Before we do that, let me tell you what happened in part 4, Autumn. I'm so between with this book. I like the horror bits, and then I'm bored during the mundane in between when we're waiting for the next spirit visit to happen. It's not a bad book. I would have done things differently with the pacing. Just made it more interesting, more creepy scenes. Even the horror-y bits that are happening, they're not even scary. They're actually a little funny. At least the thing that happens during the autumn time, I was like, this doesn't sound scary at all. It got there. At the end, something big happened that I think is going to really shift the remainder of the book. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we found out some big things in the autumn chapter, just some extra rules that their neighbors had forgotten to mention to them. And it definitely makes the situation a bit more scary, more sinister. And then yeah, just learning more about the spirit. I still stand by, if I was in their position, I would just follow the rules, make the spirit happy. It was here way before them. It's gonna continue to be there way after you. It's land. Let it be happy. But Harry, the way he is, he wants to provoke it. He keeps every interaction with it. He's kind of pushing it a little bit farther. He says he's trying to learn about it, but you can just see he's trying to make it angry. And I wouldn't want to mess with that. I think that's really dumb on his part, and he gets punished for it. Don't know what's going to happen in the final season when it's supposed to be dormant. They're not supposed to have to do any rituals during winter. The spirit should just not bug them. But I feel like the spirit might be a little angry now at the way Harry was treating him. So I wouldn't be surprised if it makes itself known. For now, let's talk to our shifting TBR. So of course, this is the book I'm using for the equipment prompt to read a book with a light on the cover. Next up, I rolled Space 14, read a book by a BIPOC author. So originally I was going to read Strange Pictures by Yuketsu, and this is still on my TBR for the month, so I'm gonna get to it eventually. I just don't think I'm gonna have time for it today. So we're gonna put this one to the side for now, move things around, and instead for this prompt, I am going to be reading Killing Stalking by Kugi once I finish Old Country. And then I know I'm doing these out of order, but what I'm planning on starting now is going to be for my final roll where I land on Space 17 to read a book without the, of, and, or in the title. And for that, I've decided, since I have been having the biggest FOMO, everybody in all of the sprints I've been doing for the last 2 months have been talking about this collection, that they're reading it, that they're loving it, and it's the perfect thing for Halloween. I am going to be starting Scared Sexy, which is stories by a bunch of romance authors, but put a Halloween monster spooky twist on it. And I cannot tell you how excited I am. I think it'll be fun if I read one story every weekend of the month, because we have 5 stories, 5 Hallow weekends. Oh my god, great idea. I didn't even plan this ahead. So for our first story, we are going to be listening to Hot for Slayer by Allie Hazelwood. I am so excited for this one. I'm honestly so happy it's the first book in the collection, because if it wasn't, I'd be skipping to it and starting with it anyways. This is a romance story between a vampire and a vampire slayer. Give me all of the Buffy vibes. Okay, I can't even contain myself anymore. I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna do some chores. This one's very short. It's only 94 pages. I will see you when that one's over. Hello. I am back again. I have finished my short story. I've cleaned the house, got changed into football attire. I lit a fall scented candle. We have picked up pizza. It is an excellent night, and I really enjoyed Hot for Slayer. Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's their favorite of the collection, which a little sad to have started with the best one yet. But I mean, we have a Katie Roberts to look forward to, Ruby Dixon. Like, I'm not expecting the other ones to be bad, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have another favorite throughout, but I think I'm gonna go with 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like, oh my god, incredible, the 5-star feeling, you know? It just didn't make it to 5 stars, but it was really good. It was actually very sweet in true Allie Hazelwood fashion. There was a very good spicy scene. But the male love interest was just such a sweetheart. In this, we follow a woman vampire named Edelweiss and a male slayer named... What the hell was his name? Laszlo! Thank you, Dan. Dan was listening to the ending of it in the car with me while we were picking up pizza. Laszlo and Edelweiss, and in the beginning, they are battling it out. They sort of have this cat and mouse game where they have been chasing each other for centuries. They are mortal enemies. He has sworn to kill her vampire bloodline, and I like the aspect of this that the Slayers are also immortal, so it had just like this big history between them. So they're fighting it out. He ends up getting hit in the head by like this falling beam from the ceiling, and he gets amnesia. So he wakes up, and she's trapped there because it's daytime. They're in this like warehouse where there's all these windows, so she's like hiding in the little bit of shade. They're trapped there until the sun goes down, and he's like, well, I don't remember anything, but you're really cute, so I'm gonna follow you home. And it was just really cute, really funny. So you had like the enemies to lovers, except he forgot they were enemies, had the forced proximity because he was literally just following her around like a little puppy dog because he didn't know where to go. He didn't know where he lived. And it was really funny the whole time. He didn't believe her that they weren't dating because he was like, I don't remember anything, but I know I feel drawn to you. Why do I feel so drawn to you? And she kept having to come up with these ridiculous excuses of like, we're coworkers, like obviously not wanting to reveal to him that vampires and slayers are real. But yeah, it was really cute. So I'm excited to continue on to the next short story next weekend. I think that's a really fun plan to just have one of these short stories to look forward to each weekend. But for now, our game is starting very soon, so I'm gonna take a break, eat some pizza. So I will probably talk to you in a little bit when I'm ready to pick back up Old Country. Football game sucked, but at least I finished my book. I don't know. It was fine. Maybe I'm in a bad mood right now, but I wanted more. I wanted not more of the book. I actually felt like it was too long. I wanted more horror. Part 5 that I just finished, Winter. It was so drawn out. I understand what they were doing with it, and I don't mind when horror has to do with trauma. I like the message of this story. I just feel like maybe it wasn't done the best. It just felt really disconnected from the rest of the story, and just all of my complaints throughout with it being really repetitive, nothing really too scary happening. Even this last section, the way the spirit was manifesting during the winter months should have been a lot more terrifying than it was. I just found myself being bored, just very repetitive, almost too much interaction with it that you get desensitized to it, and then everything that was happening wasn't scary. I also feel like maybe it resolved itself too easily. Again, I like the message. I like the idea of how they ended it. I just don't know if it should have been that easy. There were also good parts to it, so I think I'm gonna go with a 3-star rating. And yeah, happy to have it done. Happy to finally read this book that's been on my TBR forever and know what everyone's talking about. And now it is late, but I'm gonna try my best to stay up and read Killing Stalking Volume 5. I'm gonna go get into bed now. It shouldn't take me too long to read this one, and then I can let you know my thoughts tomorrow morning, and we can wrap up HALLOWEEKEND number 1. is the next day? Well, actually night, because work was so busy today. I could not get away for 1 second to film this clip, but that's okay. Work is over now for the night, and we have to talk about Killing Stalking Volume 5. Oh man, I don't even know how to review something like this. I don't even know how to rate something like this. It just feels wrong to rate it. So I think I'm just gonna go with a 3-star. I don't know how to talk about this on the internet. So I already kind of explained the premise of the series. Obviously, at this point, Volume 5, a lot has happened since Volume 1. That would be spoilers if I went into detail. But at this part of the series, the dynamic between the two male characters has really shifted, and this one read a lot more like a dark romance than the other ones. The other ones were much more thrillery. There was murder happening, there was hiding things, there was a police investigation. For this volume at least, that was all forgotten about, put to the side, and we're really just focusing on the two characters' relationship in this one. And I don't know how I feel about it. It leaves me feeling icky. I don't think you're supposed to be rooting for these two to live happily ever after, to get together. I don't trust Sang-woo for one. I don't trust that his feelings are real, genuine. I don't think he is going to treat Bum right, as just proven time and time again from all the abuse. So yeah, that's my very discombobulated review. This is just so toxic, so dark, and I am happy to move on to something else now. This is definitely not a series I could binge. I need a break in between these volumes because it just leaves me feeling icky. It makes me feel not good reading these. I can't explain why I'm doing it other than at this point I'm too far in and I own them all, so I feel like I have to see it through. We'll see though, if the later volumes get too much to handle, we might just call it. But yeah, with that, we have successfully escaped the library and moved on down to the orange room that I think is the dining room. So I'm excited to hunt the ghost and try to escape that room next weekend with you all. If you are also participating in Hallow Weekend, please let me know what room you started with. And if you would just like to leave me an emoji to let me know you were here, let's go with the ghost emoji. But as always, I hope you read a creepy book today, and I will see you soon in my next one. Bye.